Upgrades.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another JVS movie review. Today's review is a film that I have been waiting years to see if this film was going to be made. And I'll tell the name of the film and the synopsis, then I'll go back right to why I've been waiting years for this film to be made. The name of this film is Thanksgiving, and here is a quick synopsis. An axe-wielding maniac terrorizes residents of Plymouth, Massachusetts after a Black Friday riot ends in tragedy. Picking off victims one by one, seemingly random revenge killings soon become part of a larger sinister plan. And this is directed by Eli Roth. It stars Patrick Dempsey, Gabriel Davenport, Allison Ray, Jalen Thomas Brooks, Rick Hoffman, and Gina Gershon. So, first, I'm a huge fan of Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino's Grindhouse presentation when they put Planet Terror and I don't know how I'm spacing out on Quentin's movie with Kurt Russell. I'm spacing out on it. But I saw that as a double feature at a drive-in when that came out. Part of it is they had some directors come in and do trailers for make-believe Grindhouse stuff. Machete was one of them, and that was an amazing movie when it came out. And the other one was a film by Eli Roth called Thanksgiving. And it was very much shot in a vein of an old 70s slasher film. So when I heard that they were making this movie and that we're finally going to get Thanksgiving, I became excited because I'm thinking, okay, if we're getting this movie, we have to begin it in Grindhouse fashion. Meaning the way it was shown then with the 70s aesthetics. That's what I assumed. Instead, what you get here with this version of Thanksgiving is one, it's not the Grindhouse feel at all to it. This feels like a very, very slick modern day horror film, but there's absolutely no horror in this movie. This is only a horror movie because it has gore in it, but that's not enough for it to be a horror movie. Thanksgiving is not a bad movie. It is highly entertaining. The kills are hilarious. The characters aren't the smartest, but it works well because they're not supposed to be the smartest. So all of it makes the plot move along beautifully. As the film opens up, we're thrust into Black Friday of yesteryear when people used to actually go to places like right after Thanksgiving dinner or right before or during Thanksgiving dinner to goes to these big sales. So we're thrust right in the middle of what used to be Black Friday, and we see a riot break out. Absolute pandemonium breaks out here. This is an amazing opening to let you know exactly the tone of this movie. From this opening, we get a lot of gore, a lot of comedy, and just reckless action and violence. From then, you kind of understand that this is not going to be the exact same Thanksgiving that was kind of hinted towards in the trailer for the Grindhouse one. So you have to understand, you're going into this, you may be thinking it's going to be one thing, and instead you're getting a more mature version of Five Nights at Freddy's. Because that's what it feels like. It has that same comedic element that film had. Or if you ever remember old slasher films, the Sleepaway Camp films, this is very reminiscent of that. Silent Night, Deadly Night, very reminiscent of that. But this is a comedy in the end. It's way more of a comedy than anything else. And it's entertaining as a comedy. These characters are idiots, and it works perfectly well to make the plot intriguing. Because one thing Eli does an amazing job of is he keeps the action going. So it's never a moment where you feel dull because they're just talking when they shouldn't talk. That's not what you want in these type of movies. The goal is to get from one kill to the next kill to the next kill. And this does an amazing job. The issue that I have with it is that it doesn't set up the kills like a horror movie does. It literally sets up the kills like I would expect, like Scary Movie to set up their kills and stuff of that nature. That's how this sets up its kills here. If it would have set it up in more of a horror vein, I think you would have gotten possibly the best horror movie of the year, because there are other elements that really, really work. We could have gotten Eli's like version of Cabin in the Woods, where yes, it's silly, but they set up everything perfectly using horror movie setups to deliver comedy, action, and gore. Here, they use no horror movie elements to set up anything. And because of it, it could kind of throw you off. And I understood coming into this with it being directed by Eli Roth, who started off his career with gangbusters and horror movies with Cabin Fever and then Hostel. But if you ever watch Hostel 2 or anything after Hostel 1, and you saw the way he orchestrated kills, it really just became kill after kill after kill with no element of suspense or trauma involved in it. And that's what you get out of this film, is no elements of suspense. Like, the killing just happened to come out the blue, and he pops up in the most comedic ways humanly possible. But it works because it's still entertaining. And I think that's the point of Thanksgiving, is to give you an entertaining romp more than necessarily attempting to give you what you were kind of promised a little bit from the Grindhouse trailer. So forget about that trailer altogether. Just understand they're doing a movie called Thanksgiving. It's directed by Eli Roth. Eli directed the trailer, the fake Grindhouse trailer for that film. But that's the only similarities between these two. Nothing else is. This is a very much a modern day comedy with horror elements because it has gore in it. Other than that, it's no horror element at all in it. But this is still something that it's paced so well and it's directed well, where the time will breeze past. It felt like I had just sat down and then the movie was over, which is a good thing because it kept you entertained. It keeps you laughing throughout. And none of it is serious. There's not a point of this I could take serious, including the extreme gore elements of these kills, which some of them are extremely creative. I can say that. Some are extremely creative before it gets repetitive, but some of them are extremely creative, and that's going to keep you intrigued because you're kind of just waiting there to see who's going to die next and how they're going to die. So that will also keep you intrigued. But if you are someone who's a straight horror movie fan, especially horror slasher films, and you're coming into Thanksgiving thinking that's what you're going to get, I think you're going to leave disappointed. If you come in here thinking, hey, if I could get a screwball horror comedy in a way, a scary movie with a little more gore or something of that nature, I think that's something. If you're going with that mindset, if that's the type of film you're going to get, I think you'll thoroughly enjoy this film. Because again, this is a film where you can talk back to the movie theaters. I was in a screening and everybody was talking back to the movie screen. This is that type of film for you, where you can talk back, you can enjoy the relentless violence and killing in it, the stupid characters in it. Like, it gives you every element of a horror movie with no suspense elements at all in it. But still, nonetheless, an enjoyable film. So, Thanksgiving. This comes out, I think, this weekend, 17th. Comes out, yes. Out of a possible 10, I'm going to give Thanksgiving a 7 out of 10. Indian is not a horror movie. No elements of horror at all for me in it. But it is a nice, violent screwball comedy. And for that reason alone, I think a lot of people will thoroughly enjoy it. Because it amazingly never feels offensive. Throughout all the gore, I was never offended by any of the gore on screen because I could never take the character seriously. And because you can't take the character seriously, which is not a fault of the actors or the writing here, they're purposely written in a way where you're not supposed to take these characters seriously. And that's what makes this work. That's what makes this enjoyable. I think if we would have got any element where these characters were more serious or didn't make some of the dumbest decisions that they make in this film, I think it would have taken you out the film and it wouldn't have been as enjoyable as it is because these characters make these stupid decisions. So just strap yourself in. You're gonna be entertained by this. Granted, it's not a horror, but you're gonna absolutely love what you see, and this is extremely gory. Extremely gory. So for people who love films of that nature, this one's for you. But check it out. Let us know what you think. This has been another JVS movie review. Peace, people.